I met Mia in 2002. I actually transferred middle schools, so I met her in 2002 in the 7th grade. So what is that? Over 15 years ago, or 15 years ago, and we really didn't talk very often. It was you know, we would pass each other by, say hello. We had mutual friends, but we never talked. So
we were in the same junior high together, but I knew girls who were talking about him. They were telling me that they had a crush on him or that they wanted to date him. And I don't really remember him really in junior high. I just remember his name. So moving on to high school, we went to Marcos de Niza together, and he was in my 10th grade world history class. And in that class, our teacher would rotate us like in seats, and I think it was every week. And I would pray every week that I would not have to sit in front of Alfred, because he would like rub my back and make fun of me, like by saying I had chapped lips or my lips were ashy. That's what he would say. And so I was really shy, and he's very outgoing, so we're the complete opposite. So I remember telling my mom, like I would be praying like, oh, I hope I do not sit in front of him this week.
We ended up going to the same high school together, and we didn't talk very much there. Actually, our first conversation was really our sophomore year, so we had a conversation there, and it really didn't go very well, for me at least.
Our world history teacher would have like movies that we would watch, and we watched Gladiator one time, and it's now my favorite movie, but the lights turned on, and he was like, oh, Mia was crying. And it was a sad movie, but I wasn't crying, but he wanted to put me on the spot, and I was so nervous, like that everyone was like, oh, looking at me like, oh, was Mia crying over this movie? But I wasn't crying.
And then we didn't link up again until the next year. We had a dance together, and we danced there, and then
we went to a Valentine's Day dance. And we didn't go together, we went separate, but my sister reminded me that I danced with him a couple of times at that dance. And I don't really remember too much, but Alfred said that I was dancing pretty crazy, I guess. And I was doing some silly moves, and I don't know, I guess that is what attracted him to me.
You know, we didn't meet up again until I was 20, I think we were both 21.
He was in the military and in Florida, and I was here going to ASU, and I sent him a Facebook message, and I was like, hey, do you want to hang out? Or, hey, what's up? How's it going? Something along those lines. And he was like, yeah, and I was going through a breakup.
She sends me an email. I joined the military. She goes to college, so we go our separate routes, and then she sends me an email, and it's like, hey, I need some relationship advice or something like that, and because her ex-boyfriend was in the military also, so she asked me about this, and I'm like, yeah, I'll help you out.
And he was like, yeah, I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you about your relationship. And I don't think that was his motive at all, like to help me. I think it was more so to help himself and like swoop on in.
But really, I was kind of just putting myself on. So, we ended up meeting up when I came back to Arizona, and we hit it off from there. Really, that was what, 5 years ago.
He came to Arizona for the holidays, and he had his mom threw him this Thanksgiving, Christmas type of thing for him because he was going to Kuwait, and he invited me not like, I wasn't thinking like, oh, all his family is going to be there. I was just like, oh, it's going to be a small thing. I went to this holiday party, and everyone was there. I met his family. I was so shy. I was so embarrassed to even be there because I wasn't his girlfriend. I was just some girl at that point.
It was definitely a more gradual thing. I don't think it was like an instantaneous, like, what is it, like in the movie theaters, like where it's like, oh, you see this person and love at first sight. No, it wasn't like that. We kind of had to build our relationship.
He ended up saying, like, making this little speech there and saying, like, you're going to see more of Mia. You'll see her more at family functions and blah, blah, blah. And I was like turning red. I could feel myself turning red because I don't like attention. And as now, I don't like attention. And he just made this speech to his family, and I'm like, I'm barely like getting to know him like out of high school.
It took a little bit, but we got there. We ended up getting there gradually. We got there.
And he took me outside when I was going home, and he was like, Mia, I want to be with you. Like, I could see us having kids. I could see us being married. And I was kind of like, put the brakes on, like, whoa.
So it wasn't, immediately. So
we went on a date, and we went to Applebee's or something, and then we went to the movies, and he drove me back home. We were just talking in the car, just talking about anything, really.
I drove up to her parents' house because she asked me to come to her parents' house. So I drove up to her parents' house, and we just stayed in the car talking. And I turned the car off, so I just had the battery running.
He left the car on, and I'm thinking in my head, like, it wasn't hot. So why do you have the car on? The car's gonna die, but I'm thinking this all in my head.
And eventually it's like 2 a.m. and my car dies. And I didn't have any jumper cables, and I wanted to get the car started again.
The car ended up dying. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, oh, no problem. I'm like a daddy's girl, so I can go call my dad.
So she actually had to wake her dad up, and this is like the first impression, that I'm forming with her dad.
Alfred, knowing him now, like, he is so prideful when it comes to stuff like that. Like, any manly thing, like, he wants to do it. And so he's like, no, don't call your dad. He's gonna get mad. Like, he's never met my dad at this point.
And he was cool about it. He gave us the jumper cables, but that was my first interaction with her dad.
My dad is a big guy. He's like 6'2". He's a pretty scary looking guy.
I'm not used to going over to somebody's house and I wasn't ready for that situation.
So I went inside. I was like, no, I'm just gonna go inside and get him.
I'm like, holy cow, here I am, it's 2 a.m. Your dad's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill,
I went inside and I was like, Dad, I need something to recharge the car. And then he was like, okay. And then he told me where it was. I went back outside, Alfred couldn't figure it out. So my dad came outside and he showed him, and it was like kind of awkward because it's like I'm on a date kind of, and here's my dad and he's trying to help my date restart his car.
Yeah, he was actually really cool about it. He was like, oh, here goes some jumper cables. And actually, like, it's been between him and I, we've just had a great relationship. He like embraced me like from that day on. It's actually really weird, because I've never experienced that before. So
I think that was a little embarrassing for Alfred.
So I decided that I was going to propose to her. I decided in my head before I actually told anybody. I was like, I'm going to propose to her. I think I'm going to do it. And then I think I told my mom, because I wanted my mom to go with me to get her a ring. But it was later on, like later when we had planned a trip to go to Disneyland. So we were going to go to Disneyland, and I was like, I'm going to do it there.
We had a Disneyland trip planned, and I was the one who was saying, maybe we shouldn't go. Christmas is coming up. We should save for Christmas. And he was, no, we're going.
We went up to Disneyland, and I had this whole thing planned in my head. This was how it was going to go. I was going to get in front of the, I don't know if the big castle. It's not so big anymore now that I'm a little bit taller, but the big castle, I was going to go there, and I was going to get on one knee, and I was going to have like this huge, speech for her, but it didn't go anything like that. It didn't go planned like that.
And I was in a bad mood. I was just like, are you serious?
As a couples fight all the time. We actually got into an argument the day before, so it was a little, it was still a little tense.
So we ended up, like, things got better throughout the night. We went on a couple of rides, and we went back to the Disneyland hotel, one of the Disneyland hotels, and we were just mad at each other. And the next morning, I went to my parents' hotel, and they're like, Mia, you need to go back. Like, you need to talk about things. You need to go back.
I was actually walking to the castle, and I told her, I'm still a little upset at you, and I kind of like went that route, to try and get us to talk a little bit more, to get her to open up.
We go through, and he's like, Mia, I need to talk to you. And I thought I was going to get scolded again. I thought he was going to bring up the past.
So we ended up getting to the castle, and she said she knew something was up because I was stuttering a little bit, and I don't stutter.
As soon as he started stuttering, I knew something was up because he never stutters, and I was just I got so nervous. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you gonna propose to me?
You know, I don't normally stutter. Like, I'm just like, I always have like a, you know, an answer. Or I'm not one to do something like that. So she said she knew something was up. So you know, I got on one knee and I told her something like, you know, it's not very romantic, but I told her something like, you know, you were a pain in the ass yesterday, but I want you to be a pain in my ass for the rest of my life, or something like that.
He didn't even finish what he was saying, because I already knew, because I know him, like, I know if he's gonna start stuttering, he's nervous, like there's something going on. And I just remember him kneeling down and asking me, will I marry him? And he's like, I told you to be patient. And I just like hugged him, and I was like so excited because I had no idea.
And you know, so I proposed to her, and you know, everybody was clapping, and it was, you know, it was cool, man. It was a cool experience. So.
But yeah, that was our experience.
You know, we've had quite the journey, and you know, I love you with everything that I have, and I'm going to, I can't wait to marry you.
Alfred, I love you so much. I'm so excited to be your wife, and it's a huge, huge moment for us. And I'm so excited to spend to spend eternity with you. You are everything and more that I've ever wanted in a man.
You know, I still think you're as beautiful as ever. You're the most beautiful woman to me. Probably don't tell you enough, but I'm telling you now. So, you know, take this, and don't ever say I didn't tell you you're beautiful.
It's been fun raising our son together. You're a great father and an amazing boyfriend, amazing fiance, and now an amazing husband.
I love you with everything that I have, and you know, I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. And yeah, there's so many things that I love about you, and and so many qualities that you have that just make my heart, you know, it just makes me melt. You know, you're an amazing woman. You're an amazing person. You're an amazing mother.
I think that God brought us together, and I think that everything is laid out for us. I truly believe that you are my soulmate, and that we are created to be together, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to spend the rest of my life with you. I'm so excited to see what our future holds and the adventures that we're gonna go on.
I can't tell you enough how lucky I am to actually have you. And October 7th, about a month away, and I can't wait to do it. And I love you with all my heart, and let's get her done.